What's happening, everybody, and welcome to Straight Up Tennessee, where we are
What
doing
up?
the next day, man, the day after, whatever we're going to end up calling this episode. But man, we're talking all things Tennessee and Ball State, man. I really cannot wait to dive in. But we also are going to look forward into next Saturday night's, well, I guess you could say next Saturday afternoon showdown with the Pittsburgh Panthers. So, man. Turner, what's good, bro? You good?
What's up, bro? Yeah, I'm trying to pull up these stats real quick.
Yeah, I came prepared a little bit, man. But uh man, me and you were at the game last night, bro. Just from 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 walking into the stadium, like, bro, just explain the environment. Like, how did you feel, bro, walking up in that thing for another season of Tennessee football?
Man, expectation was high. The hype was definitely there. Like it's Thursday night. I didn't expect Neyland to be packed, like sold out. But I mean, people showed up, man. I mean, there were some seats in the upper deck that was empty, but dude, the atmosphere, the first 30 seconds of the game, it might have been the most lit that I've seen it since the Ole Miss game last year, if we're being honest.
Bro, I
I
mean,
mean,
we
it
we we'll
was
dive we gotta dive into the game, but like, man, we drive over there together, bro. I get out of the car and like goosebumps, chill bumps, bro. Just because it felt like college football was actually back. Like
mm,
it felt like it felt like you were walking in to like your best friend's house. You ain't been in a minute, so like it felt familiar, but you were like, I'm kind of nervous. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, absolutely.
But man, Neyland Stadium, y'all, let me just tell y'all right now, man, if you are thinking about going to a game this year, you got to go simply because the environment, the upgrades, Danny White and the athletic department, like everything from
Bro,
just
Danny White, kudos, man. I mean, you have absolutely changed the game. Like he's brung in the new, but still kept that old Tennessee tradition. Like
right.
it's top of the line.
There's nothing like it in college football. And I just really feel like um, what Danny White has done, man, has not just been monumental to the university, but to its fans, to its donors. I mean, shoot, we're season ticket holders and donors, and the way he listens to us and the way that he believes so much in the tradition, but like you said, but also believes in the modernization of what we're going to evolve to. So, I mean, their last night was unbelievable, bro. Like just environment wise, bro. Like, oh,
It was
when that
crazy.
when that T opened up, man. I mean, we had the conversation, dude, on the way. Um, if you're a recruit and you see,
I don't
like,
know how.
you see all these people, how in the world? Like, not only do you see these people, but then you got to think in your head, bro. It is Thursday night. Like, some people got to work tomorrow. Like
Did you see the Vol walk yesterday at 3:45? It looked like a Saturday.
Saturday, man. Like
3:45. I couldn't be there at 3:45.
no, no. But if I could have, I would have.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but yeah, man, I really felt like just kudos to everybody. Danny White, the whole athletic department, man. But last night was a great feeling for a Tennessee fan. I think if you are a Tennessee football fan, you are very happy with the outcome. If you watched the entirety of its game, then you saw exactly the things that we'll talk about. You saw terrible defensive line play at times. You saw that we've got some promise in the secondary, but Warren Burrell, man, I don't. I
He got
want
picked.
Warren
He
Burrell.
got picked. He got picked on, which I think, which I think D Williams he wouldn't dress last night.
Right.
So Warren Burrell didn't come out of the game to the last till right before we left the last series
Yeah.
of the game. And I mean,
So
we kind of talked about it before we jump into the game. Like it was a very stripped down Tennessee team last night.
let's talk about that. When you go into games like this, we're even saying, bro, it's Ball State. Like, who cares, right?
Yeah.
But deep inside, we want to see like
You want to
10
see it all.
you want to see
Yeah.
10 straight deep balls. You want to see them play cover two, but they're showing cover three. You want to see defensive line like shifting, like no defensive line shifts last night.
No.
No linebacker shifts, no corner like showing two and playing three. Like none of that was happening. It was so basic. And deep down inside of you as a fan, you're like, I want more. I want more. I want more.
Oh,
But then you have to sit back and be like, bro, it's Ball State. Like, I
especially
can't expect more.
especially on the offensive side of the ball, man, because it's like, it was I don't know what drive it was of the game, but we come out, we throw screen to the left, line up, throw screen to the right. And it's like, man, come on, let's run something different. Like, let's throw the ball downfield. But it's Ball State. Like,
Ball State.
we getting 5 or 6 yards. I don't know why. As a fan, you're like, man, I want to see it all.
Right.
But then as just from an outsider, like, you don't, I mean, very stripped down. You getting 5 or 6 yards, why do something else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But God, I know you say that, but it's like we said, bro, you want to see the whole dang playbook first game, bro. Like, we're like, where's the
Yeah.
jet sweeps? Where's the deep ball? I mean, we threw the ball deep one play, and it was like it almost was like Hendon was like, I'm just gonna throw it just to throw it. Like it
Mm-hmm.
didn't even look like he was trying to make the completion. So but man, let's just dive in right now to just thoughts. Like you walk away from Neyland Stadium, man. What are you thinking about this Tennessee team in 2022?
I think offensively, from an offensive standpoint, I think we're stout. Like what I expected. Offensive line did great. I think we struggled the first couple drives, just getting a push, running the ball. But I think later on, after third and fourth drive, especially after halftime, we came out that one drive and had that 90-yard drive, and we just ran it straight down their throats. I mean, offensively, I think we're there. Defensively, I mean, you want to say like we played. I mean, we only gave up 10 points, so I mean, it's really. I mean, you can't complain with that, but at the same time, defense gave up 343 total yards.
Let's look at this.
I mean, we
So,
had we had 569
yep,
and they had 343. I mean, that's a lot of yards. But like we just said, it's stripped. It was very stripped down, fundamental football tonight. And Pruitt even said it in his press conference last night. Played it.
whoa, rewind. Who?
I just said Pruitt. Hype. My fault.
Ooh, we need to bring you back from the dead.
Golly. Hype said in his press conference last night. They played a lot of bodies, like a lot of bodies last night. A lot of young
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. I mean, you look at the stat sheet. How can you be mad at 32 first downs? Um, you're 3 for 3 on fourth down, 569 total yards, 351 passing yards. Man, I'm so. I looked at you last night and I told you, I looked you right in the face. I said, we got the best backup quarterback in the country.
Yes,
Joe
I
Mil-
agree.
Joe Milton he's a different cat. And I'm not saying Joe Milton needs to be the starter. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if Hendon Hooker goes down, man, Tennessee, we don't have to worry. And we don't want Hendon to go down because Hendon, man, I mean, let's just praise Hendon Hooker right now. We sat there and talked about it. We were just like, dude, it was methodical. Like it was like an artist just painting a picture. Did he miss some throws? Yeah, it's game one, man. Did
Yeah.
he did he did he get bailed out by Brew McCoy on a screen pass out there to the left? Absolutely. But that's why you got receivers like Brew McCoy and Cedric Tillman, guys that will bail you out and allow you to make a little mistake and they'll make up for it for you. And so, I mean, Hendon, man, he
I
was
mean,
sharp. I mean,
you
what
know,
was he? 18 of 25?
for 221, 2 touchdowns, you can't complain with that. And
I
two
mean, what is
touchdown
that?
and 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Exactly. Four. He is accounted for four total touchdowns. I mean, what is that? He threw 72%,
I
bro.
mean, it's hard to complain.
No interceptions. He took care of the football. And I mean, when you've got a guy like that who's so cool and calm and he just knows the offense. He feels great. He even said in his press game conference, he said, I just feel good. And I feel like, man, this Tennessee offense is scary. And I know it's just Ball State. So y'all can hear me say it, man. I know it's Ball State, but I need you to understand that the real test is going to be next Saturday at 3:30
Yeah.
against Pittsburgh. And I really think we got an opportunity to eat. But we'll get to Pitt. Um, but let's just talk a little bit. Even from my point of view, um, the biggest thing that I walked in with today was can the offensive line figure out how to be tough? We talked about that earlier this past week. Just about winning 3rd and 1, winning second and 5, like winning those downs. And in the first quarter, I was like, they didn't figure it out.
No.
I was like, they didn't figure it out. But as the game progressed and I felt like they got into a little groove, you saw Mincy get some. I was
Mm-hmm.
very excited to see Mincy start. You
Mm-hmm.
see JJ Crawford get in, he plays well. And it's like they just started becoming a unit. It was like
Yeah.
they played so long against themselves, and it was like, man, y'all are a unit now, and y'all are pushing. I mean,
You
let's
get
look
them
at this.
you get them first game jitters out of your body. I mean, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Ain't nothing gonna be perfect that first game.
I mean, we have three guys that get more than 10 carries. Jalen Wright goes for 88 and a score. Jabari goes for 63 and a score. Dylan Sampson goes for 32 and a score. I mean, when you look at the running back room, I am not worried at all. That was the biggest thing that I wanted to know was, can our offensive line bully people?
And
And
that's what I
yeah,
think it's gonna come down to in like these big SEC games, like winnable SEC games. I'm not saying Georgia and Alabama is not winnable. It's 100% winnable.
yeah,
But I'm talking like Kentucky's, like Florida's, South Carolina's. On those 3rd and 1s, you got to be able to line up on the football and get that yard on the
yeah,
ground.
yeah.
I mean,
So
just plain, if you want to win SEC football games, that's what you got to have to do.
exactly. And I'll tell you this, man, I think the other big thing that I walked in with, and I'm very happy, we had no second quarter fall off this
No.
game.
Uh-uh.
I honestly felt like the second quarter was better than the first quarter.
Yeah.
Just efficient wise, I felt like in the first quarter, I know we had 17 points, I think, at the end of the first, but it felt like we were just, I don't even know the word. Like, it just felt like we were just trying to get out of the quarter, honestly. Like, we weren't pushing the ball downfield, running backs wasn't hitting the gaps. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then second quarter comes, and I told you, bro, I said, I feel like Heupel told Hendon, like, go to work, bro. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like he said, bro, you need to go to work.
Yeah. I think offensively, man, I think we're going to be pretty stout. Brew McCoy was impressive at times, for sure. I think he's going to help us tremendously down the road. Big body, great hands, great hands,
Great
soft
hands.
hands.
I hated that ball. Hendon was like, I mean, maybe a second late on the throw, but Brew had his hands all over it. I thought that was going to be touchdown. Um,
Only bad
Great
thing I
defensive play.
yeah, only bad thing I seen on offense. We said offensive line's got to toughen it up, but Princeton fan, you got to catch that ball. Like it's
I,
your like you've been. I feel like you've been at Tennessee for 15 years, bro. You got you got to catch that ball.
I mean, he's looking at it.
I mean, he's usually for sure hands. I mean, he's
Yeah.
usually got great hands, but you got to catch that ball.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, bro. That was terrible. So,
Defensive side of the ball, Kamal Hadden,
a dog.
impressive,
Kamal
impressive.
Hadden, dude, Kamal Hadden and man, look, I'm going to Pittsburgh next week and my starters are Kamal Hadden and Christian Charles. I just, man, Warren Burrell, man, he reminds me so much of how Emmanuel Mosley was at Tennessee.
Mm,
Emmanuel Mosley, his senior year, which is the same year Warren Burrell is in now, he did not really like plant himself as like an NFL cornerback till about midway through the season. And I'm just hoping the same happens for Burrell. He has the body.
mm,
He's like 6 foot, 6'1", 190. He's perfectly fit to play corner. He's physical, but I just feel like, man, there are so many times tonight that Warren Burrell was getting played with, bro. They played him like a fiddle. And I'm watching it happen, and I'm just sitting in the I'm sitting in there and I'm just like, this dude
yeah.
ain't ready to play, man. Like, so I don't know, man. I hope that Warren turns it on because I like that dude. I like him a lot. I
You
feel
know,
like he I don't know.
I know we really didn't talk about this last night, but I know Jawan Mitchell, he didn't dress out tonight last night.
No, no. Jamal Mitchell didn't dress. D. Williams didn't dress.
But
Um,
I mean I know it's Ball State, but Aaron Beasley had a heck of a game last night.
Beasley is a monster. I like Beasley. I loved what I saw from Beasley. I love what I saw from Jeremy Banks. Jeremy Banks just is a wild man, dude.
Hmm.
He's a wild man.
I do think defensive line was a letdown in my
Absolutely.
in my opinion. If you can't, you got to get pressure on Ball State. We had 0 sacks. We had some hurries. First play of
We
the
had
game.
I think we had 7 quarterback hurries. We had 5 pass deflections and 2 interceptions. So you look at that, okay, and you're like,
Hmm.
Tennessee was eating, you
Hmm.
know. But then you look at there's 0 sacks, and it's like, okay, um, how do we actually evaluate the level of play or the readiness level heading into next week?
Hmm.
Um, we could easily sit here and be like, well, it was because we played a base defense, like we wasn't really going after it, and blah blah blah, which is probably true. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, though
It was disappointing.
our defensive line should have bullied them all night. I don't care if we're in a base defense, if we're just like no matter what we're doing, our defensive line should have had a heyday last night.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not saying they played awful. I'm not. But I mean, no sacks against Ball State. I mean, that's I don't know. I think that's kind of something
yeah.
to look
This,
into.
um, I went to the game with my cousin Will. I know, me and Turner go to the games together. Um, we ride over there together. We're season ticket holders at Tennessee. I took my cousin with me last night, and he whispered in my ear. He said, "Somewhere Rodney Garner is cussing somebody out tonight." I said, "You right, bro. So, Rodney Garner is like going crazy at halftime. I'm assuming because you see these guys, man, and you see Byron Young and you see Tyler Barron. They look different.
Well,
They just look,
it looks like a completely different team. I mean, you see him in like videos and stuff in practice, but you see him in person, you're like, these them dudes. Like these are dudes. Like this is SEC dudes. Like
yeah,
this ain't no scrubs. Like this
hmm
is SEC dudes.
yeah. And so I don't know, man. I think that the defensive line has to get a whole lot better in what we got 9 days.
Hmm.
They got to get a whole lot better in 9 days, and I think we got the guy to do it, man. One thing that we want to do in these the day after next day videos is we want to have an offensive playmaker or player of the game in our opinion and defensive. So Turner, like when you look at the offensive side of the ball tonight, who was that player of the game for you? Who stood out to you?
Jalen Wright. I mean, you got to think this man was he didn't do a single scrimmage in fall camp. No scrimmage. I mean, he would go through drills and practice, full pads, but to come out there, no live scrimmage during fall camp or anything like that, kind of banged up, come out there 100% and just he looked good.
He did.
He's put
He
on
did.
weight, hits the hole harder this year, I think.
Yeah, I would
I
say the
think
same.
I think he's my offensive guy last
Yeah,
night.
and I know this is cliche, but I'm gonna say Hendon because I had never seen and this listen to how I say this. I never have I've never seen a quarterback be so smooth and confident that it was almost boring to watch.
Well, and it's really good. I don't know if that they probably they didn't show this on TV because the game hadn't even started yet, but it's nice to see Hendon Hooker in the huddle with the whole team after they kick the field goal, getting everybody hype, like and giving a pregame speech. Like he's the
Yeah,
leader of the team, and it's I feel like we ain't had that in a long time.
yeah. And I mean, he just I don't know, man. I feel like we go to war any game with a guy like Hendon Hooker.
Hmm.
And tonight he was just efficient. 18 to 25, 221 yards, two scores through the air, couple read options where he completely read the play and took it, got six. So mine would be Hendon. So we look at the defensive side. We're going to say the same player here. I think as far as defensive, who's that player of the game, that playmaker of the game for you?
Kamal Hadden for sure.
100%.
I'm great. He and we kind of talked about this. You mentioned this. He does a great job of playing the ball. I mean, goes straight at the ball, plays the ball great. He had some big hits tonight too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say, and I have to say Kamal Hadden too, because, when I played football, man, I was never a defensive back. I was always defensive line, outside linebacker. But I always had great feet. And I always look at the footwork, man, of this dude. And this dude is a pro, man. We got a steal from Auburn in him. And again, another guy who was banged up during camp. I mean, we're watching camp videos 2, 3 weeks ago. Like, where is he? Like
Yeah, because
freaking
it
out.
pretty much he was running with the ones. He was the guy with the ones, and then he just wasn't there. And
Yeah,
Christian Charles steps in.
yeah.
I don't
And I
think I
told
don't
you,
I don't think Charles played bad either.
no, I felt like I mean, Christian Charles, you got to remember, this is his first for real season getting clocked. Like, he played last year, but he was huge on special teams. He didn't make a lot of noise like elsewhere. But here's what I will say about Kamal Hadden that I really do enjoy, and it gave me hope for the rest of the defensive back room, is that Ball State made a couple of drives where I was like, okay, DBs, like we need to wake up. And
Mm-hmm.
as soon as Hadden touched the field, it was lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm feeling like is I don't know if Kamal Hadden may be that next Alante Taylor vocal type leader, but I will tell you, man, and I told you this last night. I said, man, Kamal Hadden just reminds me of Cameron Sutton. He's
Well,
physical and he goes at the ball. Like, if the ball is in the air and he's guarding the guy, like, he's going for like, he might stick you if he knows he can't get the ball, but 9 out of 10 times, he's going to high point the football because he wants the ball.
and I think we haven't even talked about this. It just popped up in my head, but I think a big thing too. You said Kamal Hadden might be that next Alante Taylor. I think that's a big thing that I took away from last night. Hendon Hooker, he leads the offense. When their offense is on the field that he's leading the offense. On the defensive side of the ball, I really didn't. I mean, you really couldn't tell who the leader of the defense was. I mean, they're just out there playing football, which is fine. But in my opinion, you need that defensive leader that's going to keep you accountable and just lead the defense.
Yeah. Yeah, all we've heard all summer, all fall camp is who's going to take the leadership role from Matthew Butler,
Hmm.
defensive line wise, and we haven't figured that out, and we got to figure that out before we go up here to Pittsburgh in I guess what 8 or 9 days, because
Yeah.
um Pittsburgh defeats West Virginia. on a late game pick six.
That shouldn't have been a pick six.
Yeah, late game pick six. JT Daniels hits a guy right in his hands. Just it kind of flies right through his hands like Princeton Fance to or like Princeton Fance did the other night, and he took it to the crib. Took it straight to the crib, and honestly puts West Virginia at a disadvantage. I'm not impressed with Pittsburgh. If I can be honest, I'm not impressed with Keaton Slovis. Um, I am very impressed with Pittsburgh's running backs. I think I can't even say one of their names. Number two,
Yeah.
number six. Those guys looked. Uh, I'm going to say this lightly because then I'm going to follow up. They looked like dogs, but then I had to remember they were playing West Virginia. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're not playing that SEC tight nose. And I know, man, we did not look the greatest defensively against Ball State, but they scored 10 points. I mean, they have less than 350 yards total. They get 17 first downs.
They
We
only
forced
had
two turnovers.
they only had 74 yards rushing.
So
Most of
again,
their most of their yards came from the passing game.
right. And again, it's another Tennessee team who has a dominant rush defense, and the passing is where we always seem to struggle. And I think it's honestly because we have to get pressure on the quarterback, especially heading into Pittsburgh. I think um, it kind of leads us right into this next little segment before we wrap up tonight. Um, yeah, before we wrap up today, and it's the fact of what has to improve from week one to week two in order for us to not only go up and beat Pittsburgh, but for us to beat Pittsburgh and us as fans walk away and say, yeah, yeah, we here. We
Yeah.
here now.
Mm-hmm.
What's that thing?
Man, I I honestly I'm only thing offensively is offensive line. I mean, we just gotta. I don't think you can slowly come into Pittsburgh like we slowly came into Ball State because Pitt's front seven is gonna be good. I mean,
Yep.
they I think they return almost all their front seven from last year, if not all of them. I mean, I know it's pretty close,
Yeah.
but I think it's like you said, we got to come out. I think we got to punch Pitt in the mouth first offensively. Offensive line play on the offensive side of the ball and defensively. I mean, I just think our offense is going to be so elite this year that we just got to be 2 to 5% better than last year. I mean,
Yeah.
teams are going to score. I mean, it's going to happen,
Yeah.
but we just need. And we seen it last night. We got some third down. We got some third down stops. We got some 4th and 1 stops last night. You know, I think we're going to see a lot of teams on us this year, just where our offense is so electric. If they're on the opposite side of the 50 and it's 4th and less than 2, we're going to have a lot of teams go for it on us. In my opinion, I think if they're at a field goal range,
And you're just saying that simply because they don't want us to have the football.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah. Yeah. I think the tempo tonight, like I think we talked about it. The tempo last night really felt like the first six, seven, eight drives, it was hitting.
it was crazy.
And I mean, dude, they were tired, bro. They were
Mm-hmm.
tired. And as the game went on, it felt like we were having more holds and more checks and looking to the sideline a little bit more. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that needs to clean up. And then defensively, man, I know we got quarterback pressures. I think the only way we beat Pittsburgh is if we have two or more sacks.
Yeah.
I think we got to get to Slovis. He's not very good, but anybody's good when they have time. And so I think that's what we got to do, man, heading into Pittsburgh. And we'll get into the scouting report for Pittsburgh. We'll dive in on all analytics with Pittsburgh here in the next show, next pod, next episode, which I cannot wait to dive into that because it's going to give us some time to look at that game, watch that game back.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to watch that game back at the beach next week, my boy. I might have to shoot the next show at the. I'm gonna shoot the next show with my feet in the sand. You heard me? Yeah, yes, sir. They're gonna be like, where Ruck at? Oh, that boy chilling. Yeah,
He's at the beach.
that boy chilling. So, man, any last thoughts, bro?
No,
Tennessee beats Ball State 59-10 week one. You know, I can't be upset. I didn't walk away this year like I felt with Bowling Green last year.
mm-mm,
I walked away more so saying, dang, we're really good.
mm-hmm.
And dang, I walked away saying, dang, we're really good. And dang, we didn't even play that good.
The potential is definitely there. I think that was one thing sh- I, that I kind of took away from last night is we have the potential to have a 9, maybe 10 win season. For sure 9 in my opinion. If we
Yep.
can if we can figure things out, we've got the players. We've got the dudes to do it in my opinion.
Facts. I think what you just said, we find out against Pittsburgh on September 10th. We will find out if it's going to be a 9-3 year or a
Yeah.
10-2 year, based off of how we attack them. And
Mhm.
I don't want to talk too much about them because we're gonna have a lot of things to talk about once we get to watch this game and really see like who are they, what do we actually need to watch out for, and what do we look forward to. So, any last thoughts, bro? I know I just said it, but wanted to check one more time.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Ball
Y'all,
State. I mean, it's what we expected. 59
yeah,
to 10, you can't complain. You can sit here and nitpick, but 59-10 victory, you can't complain.
59-10. That is only the fourth time I think in the last 20 years that Tennessee has posted 59 points in an opener. Um, I'm going to say this as we end the day after the next day or whatever we're going to end up calling this episode. Um, Josh Heupel can develop dudes.
Absolutely.
And the guy we sat by last night said, um, Butch Jones was a hell of a recruiter. He could not develop players, though.
Mm-mm,
And so Josh Dobbs, when he came to Tennessee, he left the same way.
mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurd contemplated moving positions because he wasn't developed at running back
He could have been a
and
monster, by the way.
should have been a monster. But I feel like Tennessee fans stop saying right now that we're going 12-0 this year. Stop saying that it feels like 98. Just be happy with where we are because I feel like we actually have the dude who will bring us back to what we've always known. And that's hard nose, that's toughness. And I think for the kids, that's the fun. That he's bringing back fun. The kids are they're being reminded of why they love football. And he develops them. He has the staff that develops them. And I'm gonna tell y'all, man, last night when Jalen Hyatt scored that first touchdown after the Tamarian McDonald interception. Heupel is almost all the way to the recruit section, just like, let's
Yeah.
go, let's go. He's like up. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that is what these kids need. And
absolutely.
somewhere, if that was Pruitt, he's somewhere pissed off and talking like this and I,
I,
I, I,
I,
I. So my thing is this, man. Tennessee's got some things to clean up, but you can't complain with 59-10. Um, I'm excited for this season. I think our wide receivers, I was happy to see Brew. I was so happy to see Jalen. Like, Jalen was so locked in. He didn't get a ton of touches tonight, but I look at it, like, he didn't get a ton of touches, but I look at it and I'm like, man, that reminded me so much of like Valus last year in the beginning. Like,
well,
first few games, like Valus wasn't getting touches like that. And
well,
we didn't have to.
talk about development a little bit. I think Ramel Keaton didn't miss a ball tonight that was thrown his way. Sure hands tonight. And that's a big step for him because he couldn't catch a cold last year.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
So a lot of good things to look forward to, a lot of good things to be excited about. Man, I'm ready to talk Pittsburgh. Man, I'm ready to look at this game, really see what they're about, and see how we're going to come away. And we're going to take a trip on up to Pitty's Make Pittsburgh and see Mr. Pat Narduzzi and his Pittsburgh Panthers. And he going to see what that orange talking about.
yeah.
So
Hey, all I'm saying, I was only 3 points away from my prediction.
you were. I was 55-17. I was way off, way off. Turner was 62-10, and the final score was 59-10. So you close, bro. Taco Bell on me the next time. Yeah, y'all,
Hey,
we broke. We can't do Ruth Chris and Jeff Ruby's and all that stuff y'all be eating.
nah, that's
Taco
why y'all,
Bell it is.
that's why y'all got to stop, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and show some love. You feel me?
Man, hey, comment on the video. Comment on the video, man. We want to always interact with you guys.
Share the
Honored that
video.
share the video everywhere, man. We just two dudes, man, that love Tennessee so much and just want to share our thoughts and hopefully you guys want to jump in and hop in too, man. As this channel grows and as things continue to grow and develop, we're gonna hop on, start doing lives and inviting new people, bringing on special guests. But for now, man, we just hope that the content that we're producing, that you guys love it, and we'll continue to just get better and more efficient and more consistent throughout. So, uh, man, it's straight up Tennessee, baby, straight up
Yes,
Tennessee,
sir.
and we out.